Okay, Simon and I are back. Hey, one thing I needed to mention to you guys that I had forgotten to say earlier is that I had a lot of questions about whether you needed to hand these notes in or not. And you really don't need to. The answer is no, because these notes are there for you to use as examples to work through your assigned problems. So don't sweat handing in the notes, but I really appreciate you guys trying to do everything that you can do to make sure that you're doing what I ask. So there's the answer to that one. Okay, so on number 5, Simon likes odd numbers. So Simon picked number 5. On number 5, I'm looking at these two equations and I'm saying if I only had a 3 in front of this y. So you kind of notice a common theme going on here. We have one solo variable and we're just multiplying by the coefficient of its counterpart in the other equation. So here if I just had a 3 in front. Now then I'm going to have a -3 and a -3. And remember I said that if they're exactly the same, I've got -3 and -3, then I have to subtract, because anytime you subtract something from itself, it equals 0. I could multiply by a -3 to turn this to a positive, but I don't want to involve any more negatives than I have to. So let's just say we're going to multiply this equation by 3. And then we'll have 3 times 2x minus y is equal to -5. Okay, so then 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times -y is -3y. And 3 times -5 is -15. Now I can bring that other equation over. That's this top equation. 3x minus 3y is equal to -3. And here's a pretty important tip. It doesn't matter which equation is on the top and which equation is on the bottom. You're welcome to flip them around. And I kind of like that here because if I'm going to subtract, 6 minus 3 is easier than 3 minus 6 to me. I kind of stay away from those negatives like I told you before. So now, since it doesn't matter which one's on top and which one's on bottom, I'm going to put my transformed equation on top and then the other equation underneath. And I'm going to have to use subtraction because these are exactly the same. Anytime you subtract something from itself, it equals 0. So 6 minus 3x is 3x. -3y minus -3y. Remember, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. So this becomes positive 3y. And if I add positive 3y to -3y, they cancel each other out. Important here too, -15 minus -3, it's the same thing. These two negatives cancel each other out, so that becomes a positive 3. So that gives me -12. And remember, if you start getting decimals or fractions, you've probably just forgotten that subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive or something like that. These equations that I'm setting up for you here are meant so that you don't have decimals and fractions. We have enough other things to worry about right now. So if we divide by 3, that tells me that x is equal to -4. So you guys know the drill from here. We're going to take -4 for x, plug it into one of those original equations, and see what y is. I'm picking the simpler of the two, and maybe tomorrow I'll pick the tougher just to show that I'm not a wimp, but I'm going to take 2 times x, which is -4, minus y is equal to -5. 2 times -4 is -8, minus y is equal to -5. Here's one of those situations where we have minus the variable that I'm looking for. I can add y over here, add 5 over here, or I can I can add 8 to both sides. Let's add the 8, because I think that's what most people would do. And I want to be able to answer those questions. So -8 and +8 cancel each other out, so now we get the opposite of y is equal to 3. Everybody see why it's 3? I have more positives than I do negatives. Now this is the opposite of y, is 3. So guess what y is? -3. This is like saying y times -1. So we got to divide by -1. And 3 divided by -1 is -3. Everybody good? Any questions? I won't ask about concerns. I know you guys have them. Just tell me about them. And I'll be happy to answer any questions I can. But for now, Simon and I say adios. The notes and the assignment will be uploaded. This assignment will not be due until tomorrow night. I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get online, watch the videos as many times as you want to, and just have time to sit and do these problems carefully so that you get the answers right. I'll see you later. Everybody have a great sunny day. Bye.